Hello, everyone. This is Rain, and I'm your host of Moments of Mindfulness, the podcast. I'm really excited about today. One of the things that I wanted to do with Moment of Mindfulness when it was a TV show and even now as a podcast is to bring people information that they can use right now to improve their lives. And during the 5 years that we had a run on TV, we got a chance to cover all sorts of topics, but it was a local show and a whole lot of people wanted a way to tune in that lived all over the world. And so we ended up coming up with the idea of doing this podcast. And one of the things that I love about it is that in this age now where people are actually very busy, they're running back and forth. Most people have more than one job, unfortunately. They spend a lot of time in their cars, and podcasts allow for you to hear the message, get the information, and then go on with your day. So anyway, there is no problem that I have encountered more than people who do not believe in themselves enough to challenge how they have always been. And I have had thousands of students, and that's an under estimate, to be honest. But I've had thousands of students, and there are very few of them who have been more dynamic, more motivated, more inspirational in their journey than Ashatu. And so I had to have her come on and be one of our first guests for this podcast so that you guys can see that it really doesn't matter where you start. It really doesn't matter where you come from. What matters most is that you believe in and love you and honor you and your legacy enough to actually build it. There are 50 million reasons why people don't, right? And I want to make sure that you understand before we even get into this episode that no one's judging you. I can't judge you. I didn't get it until I was 40, right? No one is minimizing the situations that you have found yourself in. I can't minimize the situations. I've been in situations of my own. No one is saying that there is no excuse, okay? We're all saying that no matter what, and no matter where you are, and no matter how much support you do or don't have, that it is possible. All the things that you dream about, all the things that you desire, all the things that wake you up at night, that give you some hope that sometimes you spend a lot of time trying to suppress, all those things are still very much possible. Okay, guys, I have to introduce my guest. This is the goddess herself. Yes. She is not only a recording artist, right? She has so many powerful songs, spiritually inclined. She raps like nobody's business. She is a beast. I would put her up against anybody, and I would put my money on her. She writes her own stuff. That's another thing. And she's also a business owner, right? So she has so many products, so many services, rituals, classes, getting ready to do one of her first retreats in January of next year. And she's a single mother, okay, who did not come from the best background. But ever since this woman walked into my life, I have watched her be dynamic in every single thing she touches. And I feel like who better to come on and teach you and tell you and inspire you and motivate you to get on about your life, right? No matter what you might want to cry about, it's time to get on with your life. So let me present to you guys the goddess herself, Ashatu Amadou. Hey, Ashatu.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. I am great. I have to say, I have been impressed with you for a while now. And I have to watch longer than I used to watch because, but when I say that everything about your rise has been meteoric, I mean, it's beautiful to watch.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Ashatu Amadou, and thank you for that beautiful intro. It just warms my heart. I want you to know I prayed for you. I asked for a teacher when I was going through all my stuff. I felt so lost, and I was like, God, send me somebody who can teach me. My first spiritual teacher, she was a Caucasian woman. She taught me a lot of stuff, but it was like some stuff that just wasn't connecting for me. I was like, no, I need a Black woman. who could teach me what I need to know. And so I prayed for you. And when I finally found you, I was just overjoyed. So to hear you say all these things about me just warms my heart. It's so beautiful.
But it's all true. You are amazing. So
Thank
I
you.
guess we prayed for and manifested each other.
Yes, absolutely. So my name is Ashatu Amadu. I am from Houston, Texas. Originally, my dad is Nigerian, my mom's from Alabama, and I have 5 children. And I recently moved back to Alabama after Hurricane Harvey. Hurricane Harvey hit in 2017, and me and my kids became homeless instantly. That was the third time we went through a hurricane where we lost everything. So
Wow.
this talk is about resilience. I got it.
Wow. I didn't even realize, but well, as watching the news, you hear about the hurricane and how horrible it is and everything, but I don't think people really appreciate it if they haven't lived through one. We were mildly affected by Hurricane Katrina back in the day, but mostly because they was bringing all the people up from New Orleans into all the cities. But I've
Mhm.
never been in a hurricane, but I do know it's devastating.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. The water just comes and it doesn't stop, and you
Man,
just gotta get out, and you can't take nothing with you. It's just grab the
man.
kids and go. So
Mm.
yeah, so
Wow.
that's how we became homeless. The first 2 times the hurricanes happened, FEMA stepped in and they helped us. The last time FEMA did not help me, a FEMA representative came out and said my house was in livable condition after the water receded, but there was black mold she did not see. And
Oh,
I'm
wow.
highly allergic to black mold. I got rushed to the emergency room and everything from the black mold. So I couldn't stay there. So FEMA gave us a hotel for like 11 days and then we was just on our own.
11 days. That was it.
11
Wow.
days. I was a full-time student. I was working and I was taking care of all of my kids. I had 4 kids at the time. And so I just lost everything. I just had to figure it out. So we started staying in shelters, hotels. We stayed with family members. Yeah.
Wow. I know that had to be definitely hard on you emotionally and physically. How did you find the strength to say, I'm not going to let this take me out? This ain't my final place.
Right. So I'll say maybe like 2018, 2017, December 2017 or January 2018, I went to California. They gave us the little voucher, like I said, for 11 days for a hotel. And I was staying in a domestic violence shelter in
Mhm.
Port Arthur, Texas. I didn't want to be there anymore. And so I was like, let me see if I can go to California because I love California with my voucher. They told us
Yeah.
we could come and use it. So we went to California and we were out there in hotels. But me being in California gave me the opportunity to connect with nature and to ground. So when we were not in a hotel, to keep from sitting in our car, we sat on the beach. We was
Oh,
we would sit on the beach, and I also got season passes to Six Flags.
wow.
So they were like $30 a month. That was better than me trying to find somewhere to live. So we would go to get on roller coasters or sit on the beach. Um,
Oh,
that definitely helped us a lot, helped us stay out the sun and everything. But there's just something within me. Failing is not an option.
yes.
It's
Yes.
just not, it's not an option. I've already tried. It didn't work. So I'm either extreme one way or extreme the other way. So yeah, I just kept going. When I was in California, it hit me that I had to find another way. I went to a homeless shelter trying to get help, and a man, he pulled me to the side and he said, "Ma'am, let me tell you something." He said, "You come over here every day with your kids." He said, "Nobody gonna help you." And I was like, "What?
Mm,
I got 4 kids. Y'all not gonna help me?" He said, "No." He said, "Every time you come in here, you clean, your kids' hair is combed, and you smiling."
mm,
He said,
mm,
"You don't never
mm,
look homeless. You always smiling." He said, "But you see that lady over there? She's devastated." He
mm.
said, "If I leave her on the streets tonight, she might not make it." He said, "But I know you're gonna figure it out." And
Wow.
so at that point, I stopped looking for homeless shelters. I said, "I'm not staying in no more homeless shelters," because the man just told me they're not gonna help me. And so I stopped saying I was homeless and I started saying I was in transition.
Yeah, yeah.
That's when everything shifted.
You know, that's interesting. It's almost like being penalized for caring, even if you are in a bad situation. But also, I see what he meant in the sense that some people are able to just pull themselves together no matter where they are. And you're one of those people, whereas other people without some help, they just fall all apart. But that's a heavy burden to tote. I'm pretty sure that wasn't the first time you've ever been overlooked for help because you still have so much strength.
Right. Yeah. It was hard to tell, but I'm grateful for it
Yeah.
because it made me dig down. It's like, okay, well, he see all this strength that I'm not feeling right now. So
Yeah.
let me discover whatever it is he see. Why these people don't think I need help? And I ended up getting pregnant like soon as I got in California. I met up with
Wow.
my old guitar player and a night was had. But Buddha came about and I was pregnant with 4 kids and I was like, what? But
Yeah.
actually what changed everything, it was around Lionsgate. It was after I had my baby. I had moved to Alabama. I was standing outside and I looked up at the star Sirius and I said,
Mhm.
I demand a house. I deserve
Yeah.
a house. I am a good person. I do what I'm supposed to do. I try to help as many people as I can. This is not for me. This transition is over. We have somewhere to live. And that was in August. By October, I had got approved for a housing list and I manifested that.
Mhm.
I had used Napoleon Hill's method to
Mhm.
vision what you want before you go to sleep every night. And so I didn't know what an approval letter looked like for housing, but I went and looked one up so I
Yeah.
could picture it. And every night I saw that before I went to sleep every night. And we got approved I want to say in November, and we moved in our house in February of 2020. So it happened within like a 6 month time frame.
Which is quick because I
Yeah,
know people who was on the list for years,
right.
2 years.
The list wasn't even supposed to come open. It was a random lottery. Random. I
Wow.
manifested that.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's amazing.
yes.
So being a single mom and having come from that, I imagine that nothing else after a point, nothing else phases you after a point. I know for me personally, with everything that I've been through, all the stuff that I endure as a business owner, it's all small things. It get kind of stressful at times, but it doesn't deter me anymore. I don't know if you feel that same way. It's kind of like child and I already had the worst times. Everything
Right.
else is, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Doing gratitude really helps when things come up because sometimes you get caught up in the mix and it's like, oh, what I'm finna do? And then it's
Yeah.
like, hold up, what did you do last time? What have you done before? And so
Yeah.
just that reflection really helps. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So tell me about your 13 degrees ago, because I remember the first year that you vended at a Magical Mystic Expo. And I remember thinking, dang, I like that. And plus 13 is one of my numbers I love. But I just love the flow. I love the outlay. How did you come up with that and when?
Okay, so it was right after I was still homeless. I had just moved to Alabama. My grandma let me stay with her 3 days after Buddha was born, and I was in her house. And my grandma stay in the hood of Birmingham, like gunshots every night. Like, yeah, it's crazy. And so I was over there, and the energy in the area was just so dense. And so I already was getting into crystals. I was like, I'm gonna make some crystal bracelets and some crystal necklaces and I started making stuff, but that's where Money Spray was born because I was tired of hearing gunshots every night. I was like, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
I was grateful that my grandmother helped me, but I have like PTSD where I used to have PTSD back then, and it was too much hearing
Yeah.
all them shots. So that's how I developed Money Spray, sitting over there, just being happy and joyful in my bubble. And it's like my spirit team was telling me, put this in the jar, put that in the jar. I didn't know what I was doing. I was following instructions, putting all
Yeah.
these herbs in a jar and salts and everything. And it was I made it to lift my aura, to change the mood in the areas. I would walk around outside spraying the spray.
I know that's right.
Outside, I would walk around my grandma's house spraying it, burning incense, because I was just trying to pick up the energy in the
Yeah.
area. And I gave some to one of my friends. She ordered some from me, just trying to help support. And she was like, "Girl, I just got a check in the mail." She was like, "That spray brings money." And
Oh,
I
you
was
do.
like, "Really?" And she was like, "Yeah." And so that's how we developed 13 Degrees of Gold, the money spray. That was my first product outside of the bracelets and the necklaces. But the name actually came to me from my spirit team. I was
Yep.
sitting trying to figure out why I had been through all the stuff I've been through,
Mm.
and they pointed me to gold. So I started researching gold. Gold doesn't melt until it hits 1942 Fahrenheit. And the message was everything that you went through was heating you up to the point of liquefaction.
Mm.
Because after you liquefy, then you can mold yourself into whatever you wanted. And it wasn't just that was the first degree of gold. There's 13. That's
Yeah.
the message that was given to me. So
Wow.
everything that I went through, there was nobody else who could do it, who could go through it in that manner, and be able to give it back to the people. So 13, I don't know, the number just came to me. I didn't know nothing about it, started researching it. It was like, oh, divine feminine. Okay,
Yeah.
it's right on time. Like, and it was like the 13th letter of the alphabet is M. And
Yeah.
how funny that my mentor that I found name is M. I was like, y'all funny. Y'all
They
funny.
are.
Y'all funny as hell. And all my favorite words begin with the letter M. Magic, money, mother, marriage. Like
Mhm.
I was just blown away. They just gave it to me, 13 Degrees of Gold.
You think you ever get married? Since you brought that word up, this is so not on the list, but
I want to. I've been married one time. But
okay.
he was like a friend from high school. We should have just stayed friends. But I definitely want to get married. I definitely do. I don't know. I be hoping and wishing there's a man who can handle all my personality.
There
Because it's a
definitely
lot.
is.
I'm pretty sure there is though. I just don't. Hey, where you at? Hey.
That's so interesting. So I have a bit to say about the money spray. So that first year I ended up getting some from you. And I ran through it pretty quick. So anytime I get, because I make products of my own. So anytime I get products from someone new, I try to use them all by themselves just to see how it feels, kind of judge the energy. And so I had this bracelet that I bought. It was citrine and tiger's eye.
Mm.
And the last time, so just as a pre-story, the last time I was doing bracelet magic, I manifested a car accident. I got hit from behind. I'm saying, I was like, oh shit, okay, I might need to slow down,
Yeah.
manifest a little differently. So here I was back to the bracelet magic, which is what happened that day. And I sprayed it down with your spray. And then I put it on the altar for 7 days. Sometimes I go 8, but that particular time it was 7. I was working with Lakshmi. And I took it off and I put it on. And I ended up being invited to the casino just randomly and went in there and hit the jackpot. That had
Mhm.
never happened to me before. Well, matter of fact, let me just say this. I had never not played a penny machine. I had never played more than $20. And for
Oh,
whatever reason, when I walked in, I was guided to a 25-cent machine. This was my pre multi-millionaire days. So I walked over there and I put $40 in a quarter machine and 5 pools. I had won 2,000 some dollars. That was the first time. Yeah.
wow.
So I know it works and I've used it for a whole bunch of other stuff since then. But it's interesting how it came about. I think that some of the best magic is born out of our own personal experiences, what we go through, our perception of it, our own need. Because
Yeah.
if it'll help us, it will help someone else. So I love that. I love that. Did you make that piece that's on your head now?
I did. Yes. I made this. I made the ring.
Oh, that's pretty.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're getting ready for the year of the snake.
Yes. Yeah, I
Yep.
can't wait.
And then I
Yeah.
made this as well. Yep.
I love that. So
Yeah.
is that like more like an infinity type bracelet? working with the
Yeah.
spiral?
I'm addicted to spirals. The spirals, I'm actually finna come out with a new crown that's gonna have spirals like here. And it's
Oh,
gonna,
wow.
I'm coming out with a new design. But yeah, I love the spirals. I don't know what it is about them, just kind of like the fingerprint of God or that
Yeah.
infinity energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to come out with some Metatron cube jewelry too. Yeah.
Hmm. Um, my son is talking about getting the Metatron cube tattoo and
Oh, that would be
everything.
dope.
Yeah,
And I
he
just
was
realized it has 13 circles on it.
yeah. That 13 is a constantly repeating number amongst spirituality, and you start to get into it. It's like, man, when I happened upon 13, which is, it's just like you, spirit will just deliver stuff to you, and then you have to, after a while, you realize, oh, this shit is a pattern. Y'all be in everything. And I love that. So when I saw that 13 degrees, I was like, I totally get that.
Yeah.
So another aspect about you is you recently became a real estate agent.
Yes, I'm a real estate agent.
Girl, how do you love it?
I love it. So far, I'm still learning the ropes. I still have my temporary salesperson's license, but I have to take one more class. And then after like the 6 months period, then it'll go to active status.
Oh,
So I can
wow.
still sell houses right now, but I haven't sold any yet. I just been going to sales meetings, and I did my first open house. That was fun.
Wow.
Yeah, and just, learning the lingo, learning the ropes. I got to eat with the mayor. We got to have breakfast with the mayor and talk
Wow.
about big budgets, and they were talking about $1 million budgets. I was like, am I in the right room? Okay.
You're definitely in the right room. Look at how quick that happened, too. I mean,
Right.
I remember when you were going to school, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, here you are. How did you manage business plus your spiritual journey and how that loops you into serving other people and your children and going to school? Because some people act like they can't manage two things. So what's the secret?
Right. So first of all, like I told you, failure not an option for me. So for me in my head, it has to get done. It's not can it get done? How can it get done? So I asked for help too. Even when I was homeless with my kids, I used to ask my like Archangel Michael was the first energy I ever worked with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I used to ask him all the time, Archangel Michael, feed these kids.
Yeah.
Archangel Michael, calm them down, help them sleep. I just would call. So I still do that. I call my
Yeah.
team for assistance. Because if I don't have physical hands, I need some spiritual hands. Bring the physical people to me. I know I'm not,
Yeah.
it take a village. I don't see my physical village. I know I got a
Right.
spiritual one. Y'all have to help me. I don't give it a because if I don't have an option to fail, y'all don't have an option neither. Everybody on board. Hands on deck. Let's go.
That's
Let's
right.
go. But I create a system. So my children have been taught, my oldest is 17. Then I have a 16-year-old, a 13-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 5-year-old. And my children have been taught from birth independence. And we have a system in this house. So we have team meetings, like this is a business, and
Hmm.
everybody has a job. I'm the
Yeah.
CEO. I make the products. I do the marketing. I do all the digital stuff. Then my oldest daughter, they switch jobs, but everybody has a job. So we have a kitchen manager, we have a living quarters manager, and then we have a manager over the children. So all the
Oh, wow.
teenagers are managers. And then we pair the oldest one with the youngest child. So the 17 and a 5-year-old, that's her responsibility, her buddy. And then
Yeah.
the 16-year-old goes with the 8-year-old. And that's
Oh,
her buddy. And so everybody has a different job and they switch. Somebody cooks breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Somebody washes clothes. Another person cleans the floor and everything like that. And somebody plays with the little kids because they need playtime. And
yeah.
I handle all the heavy lifting. And
Yeah.
so, just like at work, they tell me when they need a break. They tell me when it's
Mhm.
overwhelming, and I teach them how to ground. I teach them how to meditate. I teach them how to
Wow.
do mirror work. They have to wear copper. They have to wear crystals because you're not going to remember to put your protection bubble on every day, but they know how to seal their auras. They know how to do all this stuff. And I teach it to them because I wish somebody had told me when I was 10. I
Yeah.
wish somebody had told me when I was 13. And so
Mhm.
that's really how I get it done. I'm not superwoman and I don't try to be. I
Yeah.
teach my children, and I figure, because I used to feel guilty about it, like, oh, I'm putting too much on them. But it's like, no, they chose me.
Yeah.
They chose
Yeah.
me. Those souls chose my soul for a specific experience, and I gotta work with
Mhm.
what I got. And
Yes.
until I have the funds to pay somebody to do this, they're just like at a regular job. Before you can own a McDonald's, you need to learn how to sweep the floors. You need to
Yeah.
learn how to count the cash register. You got to know how to do all parts of your business for your business to be successful. And so I'm
Yeah.
just teaching them skills. Like whenever they say, well, mom, other kids don't have to do this stuff. I'm like, other kids are my children. But y'all are
Right.
gonna have skills. So whenever they ready, my kids know how to paint a house. They know how to
Mhm.
fix a washer and dryer. They know how to fix a hole in the wall. They know how to cook. They know how to clean. These are skills. Y'all have business. You don't have to work at McDonald's. You can open up
Right.
your own business. I showed you how
Right.
to build a website. You know how to do these things because I've paid for the classes. So
Yeah.
that's how I do everything, how I manage. We have a team setting and I just delegate different tasks and I let them know this is not a democracy. This is a hierarchy. In this
Mhm.
house,
Right.
go somewhere else if you want to have it another way. I'm very strict with them, but it's all out of love,
Mhm.
for good reason. So the way I run my house is like a well-oiled machine. I can leave and they can sustain themselves.
Wow. You know what? I just got to say, and I have to applaud you on that because I think that's brilliant. I only had one to do that with, and I know how challenging it was. But one of the things that just blew me away when you were talking is how you paired them up, and there's someone even in charge of making sure they still have a childhood experience because they need playtime and they need enjoyment. See, let me just say, okay, one of the things that I love about you is that you're thorough, right? And you're realistic. Some people, they think that the whole primary point of being a mother is to let your child stay childish as long as possible, and that's great that they have some time to be what they are, but they also have to be prepared for the world. So the way you described it reminds me of what Jewish people are famous for,
Mm,
raising their children and preparing them for life and success at a young age. So by the time their children are 12, they leveled out and ready for the world. You know what I mean?
right.
And Asian people are also known for that. So for you to be able to have that insight, and like you said, some things are born of necessity, right? You probably would prefer they be able to play more, but as a great mother, which I feel like
Mm.
you are still prioritizing their enjoyment in life. So I
Yeah.
think that's brilliant.
Thank you. I wish
Yeah.
I could give them more and I try to give them as much as I can, but I just realized I'm a Capricorn. I got 5 placements in Capricorn. So
Wow.
playing is not my strong suit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm extremely serious. Capricorns, they get like more playful as they get older.
Yeah.
But so I realized my kids, they be looking at me like we going outside. I'm like, okay, go play, go outside. Or they like to watch movies. They want me to watch movies with them. And I'm like, no, I gotta make another product. I gotta do this. So they just leave me to myself and they kind of do their thing. But to be honest with you, sis, and I'm so glad that I'm able to see it like that now, but it was birthed from a place of fear. And
Oh
so
wow.
fear can work for you. You know
Yeah,
what
it
I'm saying?
can.
I don't subscribe to it. I don't tell people to subscribe to it, but if that's where you are, use it
Yeah.
and let it work for you. And so
Mhm.
the fear of my children having to experience what I was experiencing
Mm.
was like, no, you're going to do this now,
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now. And that's how I got them. That's why I'm like kind of militant because I analyze everything, my South Node in Virgo.
Mhm.
Like, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
break it down. Okay, this will prevent this, and this will prevent this, and this will prevent this. So learn it, do
Yeah.
it. You
Yeah.
ain't do it right, do it again,
Yeah.
do it again. And they be like, "Mama," and I'm like, "I know, just do it again, do it right. We ain't gotta do it no more. Do it right."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so they do it right. And like even my 17-year-old, she'll tell me now, she'll say, I'm so glad that you taught me this or that
Mm.
you showed me this. She used to hate me. She used to hate
Wow.
me. And then she finally just stopped fighting me. I took her phone for like almost a year, and
Wow.
she didn't have no choice but to meditate then because she was trying to she was trying to pacify with, Instagram, Snapchat, friends, and doing all that stuff. And I'm like, listen, baby, you don't want to be 35 trying to
Okay.
learn how to do this. Get it right now. Those people, you can't really have fun with people right now because you can't do what you want to do.
Right.
Do it later. I said, learn this right now. And she finally stopped fighting me and she learned it, and she sings my praises. She tells me thank you. She loves when I bring her with me to your events and
Yeah.
everything. And she's
Yeah.
just like, Mom, this is so cool. This is so cool. And she loves to see all the mystics. And she started a teen channel helping teens with their spiritual journey too. But she
Oh, wow.
appreciates it now. So I'm happy I taught her, and she
Mhm.
teaches the other ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She's a beast. When we were in Tennessee, I
Hmm.
was looking at her and I was thinking, boy, she's ready for the world. You have done a tremendous job. And
Thank you.
on top of all of that, you're a recording artist. How long have you
Yes.
been doing that? And how do you work all of that in? Because you also write, right? You write all your own
Right.
songs? Oh
I'm a
my God.
writer. So I've been doing music since I was 12. Music was therapy for me. I grew up getting like molested and raped by my stepfather. And that lasted from the age of 4 to 14. And so I didn't have anybody to talk to. And my mom would send me to these therapists, but I kept changing therapists. So I could never like build a bond with them. And so I started writing. My aunt gave me a Nas album, Stillmatic. And that album, I listened to it and I was just like, wow, my mind was blown. And so that's what got me into music. Because I used to do like gospel music in the church, but I had never wrote. That's when I started writing at 12. And I used to do it all the time. And then I finally just took it seriously in 2021. It was right after I met you, actually. I put out my first mixtape June 24th, 2021.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and take it serious. And I just started investing in myself. So now I listen to my body and I follow my excitement.
Yeah.
So whenever I feel the
Wow.
urge to write, I stop what I'm doing, even if I'm like in the middle of making a marketing thing or whatever. I will stop and I'll give myself the time to write.
Yeah.
And then I heard you one time, you said something about, you was talking about if somebody was an artist, that they should take time to paint all the pictures that they gonna paint and spend months doing that. And after they do that, then switch into your marketing hat.
Yeah.
And then it's
Yeah.
time to sell them. So I picked that up from one of the talks you gave, and I started doing that too. I write and I
Yeah.
create, and then I go and I start paying for studio time and developing, and then I start pushing it out and marketing it. But I kind
Yeah.
of just follow the flow. If I'm in a business mindset, I'm focused on business. If I feel creative, then I'll go write.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of let it flow however it wants to come.
Wow. Girl, I gotta say, I mean, people around me call me like Uncle Rooker because they like, you got so many jobs you do, or I'm always working. But honestly, when I look at because I have a staff now, it was a time when I was solo dolo, but I do have a staff now, and I look at you and you're outpacing so many people who even do have staffs, and people who have family and friends and married and just a whole lot of support. But sometimes the other thing is about drive. um if you had to kind of sum up what your overall drive is or motivation is right now, as far as, because you're really truly building a legacy. I'm talking about this right here is going to outlast your physical life, right? So
Yes.
what do you think is the driving force now? Because I know it's different than where it started, because you're a long way away from homelessness or having little babies or anything like that. Now you're kind of of settled in a
Mhm.
more mature place and in a more spiritually secure place. So what do you
Mhm.
think is your drive about now?
I always have been the type of person that I never want to miss out. I'm more afraid of what will happen if I don't do it.
Mm, wow.
What will happen if I don't? And that song that they used to sing in church, I just can't give up now. I've come
Yeah.
too far from where I started from.
Yeah.
Nobody told me the road would be easy. And I
Yeah.
don't believe they brought me this far to leave me.
Believe me. Yes, indeed.
And so that's the main thing. I don't want to miss out. I don't want to miss out on shit. Like, no, like what I would feel bad if I just stopped. And it's like, dang, what if I could have became like this famous celebrity and this like mogul real estate agent, or
Yeah.
like what if I could have did all that and I just didn't?
Whew, girl, listen, that is a thing. And I'm gonna tell you, I didn't intend to go here with this talk, but I gotta say, especially with what you just said, when you're coming from a place where most of the people around you are impoverished, right? The dream is to get out of poverty, but nobody really knows exactly where you want to land. We just know we want to be better than where we started, right? And
Mhm.
so I remember when I started, when I got out, so my awakening hit a new vein when I was in prison. And it was undeniable at this point. Look, you got to quit blaming God and the Holy Ghost and Jesus.
Right.
This is who you are. This is just how it works. You're not in church. You ain't getting no preaching. You ain't even reading the Bible, but this ability is still there. It's getting stronger. And it's like, because in church, they tell you that if you're sinning, the Holy Spirit will take your gift away. So I was confused because I was obviously sinning. I had just almost killed someone.
Mhm.
And so I started opening the door more. And when I came home, though, I was still on I just want to be able to take care of myself and be safe, and have some peace. I don't want to be in a position where I'm always having to fight and visit this dark place that feel like it's eating my soul. I want something else. But after I got that, you know what I'm saying? It was like, okay, it's something else in me now. It's like and it's what you just described. After you get just the basics, all of a sudden you discover how ambitious you might be. And of course, I'm Capricorn rising, so it could be
Yeah.
that too. But it just rose up in me like, if you can do 10,000 a month, why not 20? And if you could do 20, why not 40? And it's to me, that's the purest place, because it's all about developing out your potential and taking it
Yeah.
as far as it'll go with no fear. And you kind of, sometimes get afraid because you ain't never been to whatever this new level is, but
Mhm.
it's an exciting type of fear. It's like, oh my God, I can't wait to see it. So I
Yeah.
love that you're there now, because that place is so beautiful. It's not about your kids anymore. It's not about fear anymore of not having. It's just about, I'm gonna honor all of the good shit they put in me. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I'm
Yes.
gonna let this body have all this potential. We're gonna fulfill it. We going
Right.
for it.
That ritual that Ontario did last night, like I woke up with so many downloads. I was like, okay, so we finna add another thing to the roster. I'm like, okay, let's do it. So I'm about to start making clothes. I'm like, let's go.
Oh my gosh,
I'm,
really?
I'm finna get a sewing machine. Yep.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm finna start designing because I always used to try to get people to make stuff. Why don't you make a goddess line and put
Yeah.
this and do this and do this? And Spirit was like, why don't you make a goddess line? I was like, okay. So I'm gonna start sewing clothes and coming
Yeah.
out with hats and gloves, all the things that make me happy. I love
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
old school
High
50s,
society. Yeah.
30s. Yeah, I love that high society. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. That Southern Belle, I love it. But I'm gonna put like crystals on the clothing
Mm,
stuff. So anytime
nice.
you wear it, it just lifts your vibration.
Yeah, I love that idea. I just told somebody that about you the other day. Somebody was talking about your new video. So you got to tell us about that. But somebody mentioned it. And I said, you can tell, I think it was my husband. I said, you could tell she's into that high society, old world wealth, because back then you could see the difference in the cultured and the high society versus everybody else. It was all in their clothes, how they carried themselves, how they spoke. It was just, there was a undeniable separation, right? And
Yes.
so I have noticed that about you. So, but yeah, tell us about your new song, because I love that. I saw the train. I hadn't got a chance to watch the video yet.
Yes, please watch it. When I tell you that was nothing but the ancestors, um, I am very into high society, high fashion. I love the gloves, pearls, hats. I love it
Yes,
all. And then my father's from Nigeria, and he's a Hausa man. We're Hausa, and so I am regal. Like my energy
yes,
is just regal. I was born like that. Just here I am. Hello, how are you? I love the squared shoulders and shoulder pads.
yeah.
That type of energy. And so I actually asked my 17-year-old, she shot the video.
Really?
She shot
Wow.
that one and the other one, Mrs. Herb Cure, the remix I did to Boss Man D-Lo's song,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Pot Scraper. She shot that video too. Oh, that's another thing. When you ask me how do I manage everything, I encourage my children to do jobs that I need done, and she can
Yeah.
use it as a skill. So she started taking classes on photography and
Mhm.
videography off of Udemy. Those little 10,
Wow.
$20 classes. We
Yeah.
started paying for those classes and she started taking them. So she started learning how to trick out her iPhone and how to change the settings to get the shots that we wanted to get. So she's my camera girl. She does
Wow.
all my behind the scenes footage. She captures everything. And she needed to learn how to drive because she just got her license. So she drives for me so I could work.
Yes.
So everything works together. And then she can use that and charge other people to do their videos. And she has a portfolio. Look what I did for Goddess Music. And
Yeah.
she can show
Yeah.
people. But yeah, she came up with the idea. I let her hear the song. And the song was it's about a dark night of the soul.
Mhm.
And when I first met you, actually, I went through a dark night of the soul, and all of this stuff from my past just kept coming up. And I was like, I thought I let this go. I thought I released it. And I came up with this song after I came out of it. And it was just me
Mhm.
rehashing everything that I had went through. Um, and how we will still have to keep coming back to this realm until we clear all of that energy, until we clear that karma and balance the scales.
Yeah.
And so it was about the song is about I take you down in the valley, all the
Mhm.
bad stuff, but then I bring you back up and show you how I healed it. And it
Mhm.
was through, like I mentioned, yellow dock. Yellow dock is a herb that purifies the blood.
Mhm.
And you can use that for ancestral clearing and cleansing as
Mhm.
well. And so I talk about taking yellow dock, and that's how I healed myself. I started taking herbs, drinking them, using them, and oils and everything like
Mhm.
that. And so I also embrace the pain. A lot of people try to run from the pain,
Yes, ma'am.
and sitting
Yeah.
down in it and saying, okay, I'm here. What do you want? What is this about? What are you trying to show me? That makes you damn near invincible. Can't nobody fuck with you. Like nobody can stop you. Cause if
Yeah.
I'm not hurting from the hurt I put myself in, you can't hurt me either. You can't
Mm-mm.
you can't
Mm-mm.
do anything to me. And so that's what the
Mhm.
song is about. It's about a dark night of the soul, about me going through all that stuff and taking it and turning it into gold and using it to help other people. And me just being transparent, like telling people that I used to be on drugs. A lot of people don't tell people that kind of stuff or they don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Um, I was addicted to cocaine. My oldest daughter dad put me on it when I was 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so
Mhm.
I broke that addiction by myself in 2017, the same year Hurricane Harvey hit. That was a crazy year. I just think about it. I cold turkey off of pills, coke, cigarettes, cold turkey, everything.
Wow.
And I was homeless. That's crazy. But
That is wild. That is
Yeah,
wild.
so she came up with the concept for the song after I showed it to her. She was like, "I want you to look like you're going to a funeral."
Wow.
And I
That's
said,
so
"Yeah."
perfect.
I said, "We finna bury this. We finna bury it." And so she was like, "I want you to have one of those big Sunday hats." And we couldn't
Mm.
find one, but I'm creative, so I got on YouTube. And so I made the hat that I was wearing out of poster board.
Really?
I went and got 2 poster boards and I got some that thin material. I went to Walmart and got some and I just glued the material to the poster board and I sewed an elastic piece on the back and I made the hat. And that's the other thing. I was like, I need to go ahead and start designing clothes. That was really easy, but I did something different. I left a veil over it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
those flat hats, they usually are just up here, but I wanted the veil over it. And
Yeah.
so that was
Yeah.
symbolic for me. Like the veil has been removed. Because
Yeah.
you could look at the things that are happening to you as negative or bad or woe,
Mm-hmm.
it's me, I'm a victim. Because that's what I used to ask when I was
Mm-hmm.
little. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? Like, I'm actually a nice person. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
kind person. Why is this happening? And
Mm-hmm.
it was like removing the veil would show it wasn't happening to you, it was happening for you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
For sure. For sure. That's amazing. I love how it's so meaningful. We're in a stage of life now where a lot of music is not meaningful. I'm gonna find a use for whatever is around me. I don't care what it is because all things have energy. It can be purified, repurposed, transmuted, whatever.
Mhm.
But it's so much easier when you don't have to work so hard when consuming, especially art, music, paintings, whatever it is. And even when it concerns clothing, the designer's energy and intention will go into whatever they design, purses, whatever. Um, and so I do think that it's going to be amazing having you design things that are specifically to uplift and help a person heal themselves because literally we are being saturated with things that break the spirit, that lower the vibration. Um,
Mhm.
it's almost like it's an all out assault against higher frequencies. And so I love everything that we have discussed. You got to tell everybody how they can contact you, how they can connect, how they can support as well.
Yes. Okay, so you guys can go to 13degreesofgold.com. That's my website. You can look me up on any platform, Goddess Music with a Q, because I'm good for your soul. So it's MUSIQ. And you also could look me up under 13 Degrees of Gold. That is my LLC. You can email me at 13degreesofgold at Gmail. You can contact me on all social media. I respond back. Yeah, that's how you guys can get in touch with me. And if you guys have any questions or if you want anything, I do confidence counseling.
Yes.
And with the confidence counseling, I'll meet with you one on one. And I just start wherever you at, whatever issue or problem you dealing with right now. I just let spirit channel information to me on how best to help you. I give you techniques that I know they work because I use them.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I give you techniques that I've never tried, but your spirit team is telling me, like, listen, this person needs to do this. So if you're interested in that, I would love to help you on your walk. I know M is not a hand holder. I will hold your hand.
Yeah. Yes. You know what? I'm so glad you mentioned that because like sometimes people book me for a business consult. And then it's like, can you help me do this? No, what I'm gonna do is send you to Nishiki. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
Because she's gonna be more there for you. I'm more of your overview. I'm gonna show you all the little things and tell you all the little things, and then I'm gonna let you go do that. You know what I'm saying?
right, right.
I remember when I first 2017 is the beginning of the apprenticeship. So when you
Okay.
said 2017 was a year, I was like, she ain't
Yeah.
lying. But when I first started, I had 5 apprentices. So they could call me anytime they get ready. Sometimes we'd be on the phone 10 different times in a month, and I'd be
Mhm.
texting them and sending them all the little updates because it was just 5. And but when that ballooned to 40, but by the time the 5 was ready to graduate, because it was just 5 of us, maybe 9, I was like,
Right.
oh, I'm paying for everybody to come to the graduation. We're gonna have a good time. I'm gonna pay for your travel, I'm gonna pay for this, pay for that, pay for this. And girl, by the time we graduated, I had 40 some students. I was downstairs booking rooms. We booked up almost the entire residence inn in New Orleans. And I was downstairs for like damn near 5, 6, 7 hours straight, swiping through all of my money to buy a house. But I had made a promise, right?
Right.
And so I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, because by this time it's 2018, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, well, why do I run my mouth so much? I can't operate how I was when I just had five. And it was a wake-up call, like, okay, you've grown. But the
Right.
thing that I love about the apprenticeship and the mentorships that I've done and people like you that have come into my life is that I've been able to identify others who are at that stage where they have the time. If your music blow up the way I know that it's probably going to very soon, you
Mhm.
won't have the time. But right now, they need to book
Right.
you
Right now, they
while
gotta
you
get it
have
while it's hot.
time.
Get it while it's hot. Cause soon as we take
Yeah,
off, we gone.
that's it. I'm telling you, man. People don't understand. It's like things change. Growth and success changes things. It don't change the heart, but it changes things. So definitely get the confidence counseling. And then tell us about the retreat that you have coming up in January.
Oh, I'm so excited about that. Okay, so we're doing a retreat. I'm bringing Takara Jones. She is America's Next Top Model. Takara's my friend. I love her. She's a Pisces and she's into spirituality. And so she
Wow.
does sound bowl activations. And
Oh,
they are out of this world. Her voice is so soothing. And she talks
mm,
to you. We do mirror work. And then she will have you lay down and she plays her bowls and she has this rain drum that sounds so beautiful.
mm,
And then afterwards, she gives you like aromatherapy. And then afterwards, we do I am affirmations. She is
yeah.
very big on doing I am affirmations. If you ever hear her, she'll say, "It's me, the fabulous Takara." And so she puts that into other people and she really
Yeah.
brings out the beauty in you. So she's gonna be there doing her activation. And then my aunt, actually, her name is my aunt Grant, and she goes by Birth Mama. She is a midwife. She's been
Oh,
midwifing
wow.
over 36 years, and she helps you birth everything from business to ideas to actual babies. She is going to be there and she is going to transform our lives. She does a aura cleansing bath where she actually bathes you. She makes
Oh,
your
wow.
own herbal. So she gives you your own herbs like that's specifically for you. And we will be outside. She has these blow up baths that she does. And it's like a whole
Mm,
ritual ceremony, like the same way that they do mothers after they give birth, like back in the old days. And so she's
yeah.
gonna cleanse you, do a head wash from head to toe, and help you release everything from your childhood, like the
Yeah.
touch of a mother. And she's a Scorpio too. Her birthday is November 9th. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
yes,
Wow.
yeah, so it's gonna be really good. She's gonna do that, and then she also does belly dance. So it's hip
Oh,
meditation. She told me don't call it belly dance. It's the sacred art of hip meditation, and she's gonna teach that to us. So we're gonna be releasing trauma.
wow.
And
That is
I'm
too
gonna do
awesome.
a crowning ceremony. So all the women
Mm,
who come will be crowned by me. You'll receive a crown, and I'm gonna adorn you from head to toe in copper. So you're gonna have rings, bracelets, waist beads, anklets, everything. And it's a whole ceremony. We're gonna help release, and then we're going to activate, awaken, and then we are going to emerge, allow that
mm.
goddess energy to emerge, honoring the snake, of course. The year
Yes,
of the snake.
absolutely. I love it. And I will be there. I will.
Yay!
I'm
Yay!
still waiting on something I'm moving something toward my son.
Okay.
And I'm waiting on that process before I let you know which day. But I was trying for the whole time, but I knew I wasn't gonna make it back in time for day one. But
Okay.
hopefully all I miss is day one. I will definitely keep you
We
posted.
changed the date. It's gonna be January 5th through 9th.
Oh, well then, okay. I'm gonna look on my calendar and I'll let you know within the hour.
Okay, and
Okay,
it's
because
a
that's done.
beautiful luxury villa in Miami. The actual
Mhm.
place we're staying at has a built-in beach on the property.
Oh, wow.
And it has the infinity pool. It got the fire pit outside, volleyball. It's like a
Mm.
resort. And then we will have access to a private beach and we'll have access to a private lake. So we could
Oh,
do all of
wow.
our rituals. We're gonna do a fire ritual. We gonna get this thing popping. And I'm
Yeah.
making African food if anybody wants to try it. We'll have regular food too, but I'm gonna make some fufu and igusi for the participants.
I would love to try it. I've watched you post pictures of it. It looks delicious and it
It's
looks
so
well
good.
seasoned. Is it
It's
spicy?
so good. Sometimes it can be. This time when I made it, I didn't make it spicy. My kids told me it's better without all the spice. So I'm not gonna make
Oh,
it too spicy because Nigerians we like spicy food, girl. But I'm
yeah.
not gonna make it too spicy for the for the people.
I know, I know, because I got a immature palate. Lord knows it'd be so funny, girl. I order some mild wings and be like, "Oh my God, this is so hot," and everybody looking at me like it's really not. I'm super sensitive. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, I just made a pot and my kids cleaned it out. They was like, "Mama, this is the best one." So I know how to do it without all the spice this time. So
Awesome. I can't wait. This is going to be so fun. Thank you
yes,
so much for coming and sitting with us today and sharing your story. It's phenomenal. And I know that this is just the tip of the iceberg. And another year, there'll be so much more to your story. And congratulations on
thank
all the
you.
success. Because,
Thank
wow,
you.
girl.
It's you.
Wow.
You helped motivate me. Like I
Mhm.
I became a real estate agent because of you. You were doing a live one day and you was like, y'all need to get into real estate. Watch what I tell you in about a year or so. Somebody mark my words. Watch what I tell you. The real estate is gonna be going up and everything. And I was like, everything you say, I just be taking notes. And if I can apply it, I apply it. If I can't, I hold it and wait till I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, you motivate me, encourage me. I be listening. So I'm so appreciative of you. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for me and that you've given me. I'm so grateful and so thankful. You have no
You
idea.
are more than welcome. It's a pleasure. It is a pleasure. You are the type of person I started doing this for. And so for me, watching you, and I'd be trying my best not to be in my crone energy, but it's there. You know what I mean? It's like you're like the next generation of hope. Like this world needs a lot of it. And you carrying yours well. So I appreciate that.
Yes,
Guys, don't forget to follow, follow, follow,
yes,
follow.
yes.
Okay.
Y'all come through. Hit me up if y'all have any questions. If I can answer, I would love to.
Absolutely. Okay, let's do this. Let me stop the recording. Thank you
Okay.
guys for listening. We will be back next week with another phenomenal episode, and I look forward to serving you guys. Have a great one.